Today we're going to be taking a look at 75155 Rebel U-Wing Fighter. As many of us know, there is a new U-Wing coming out in just about a month and a half from now based off of Andor Season 2, and there's actually a picture of that set that is leaked already. I'm not going to show it in this video just because I don't want LEGO to be corny and copyright strike me. However, I already posted it on my community tab, and it's making its rounds on the internet. It's not very hard to find. But since the remake is releasing in about a month and a half, I wanted to go back and look at the original one that we got almost 9 years ago. This set was released all the way back in September of 2016 with 659 pieces and a retail price of $80 US, which adjusted for inflation is about $105 in today's money. However, since this set is retired, if you want to find it new in box today, you're going to be looking at paying around $250 or about $100 to $120 for it used. It includes 5 minifigures, that being Biston, a Rebel Trooper, a U-Wing pilot, Cassian Andor, and Jyn Erso. So as you can tell, it's kind of the main protagonist set, including the main characters, although I do kind of have a problem with this minifigure lineup that I'll talk about here in a little bit. But on the back of the box, you're going to see there's a lot going on with images showcasing multiple different play features like sliding doors, the foldable wings, as well as spring-loaded shooters, and a function to open the cockpit. Now, out of the 5 original Rogue One sets that were released in 2016, this is the one I never got. I got the other 4, but I never ended up getting this for some reason. So because of that, I'm very excited to dig into this. So opening up the box and dumping out the contents, you're going to find just 5 numbered bags, as well as your instruction manual and your sticker sheet in its own plastic bag, which is something that I kind of forgot they used to do in the mid-2010s. I'm pretty sure it was intended to protect the manual, kind of like the cardboard cases that we have today. However, as you can see, it didn't work that well because the manual is still bent pretty badly. Speaking of the manual itself, in the back few pages, you're going to have some advertising for the other Rogue One sets, with one picture showcasing all of the figures from the entire wave, as well as the other one showcasing all the sets from the entire wave. And then just one page over, you're going to have this awesome picture of the Battle of Scarif, which I'm pretty sure was actually released as a poster at one point, but either way, it looks awesome. And then right next to that, you're going to have some advertising for Master of the Force, which was a thing on LEGO.com at the time. Now taking a look at the 5 figures in this set, first up here we have Jyn Erso, and this is probably objectively the best figure in this set. As you can see, she's kind of got a lot going on with her poncho, as well as her baton and a blaster and the satchel. And as you can see here, she's also got a double-sided face, with the second face being an angry face. And you can also get a nice look at that hat or hairpiece, whatever you want to call it, because it's all in one mold. And then underneath her poncho, she's going to have some very basic printing on the front and the back. Here we have Biston, and this is definitely the most unique figure in this set. If you don't recognize this character, it's the crazy monkey that shot down the AT-AT in the Battle of Scarif. He's got great continuous printing that goes from the torso to the legs in this nice sand green and dark green color. However, the highlight of this figure is definitely that headpiece. I mean, it's just a weird and unique looking mold that I really like, and it seems like nowadays LEGO doesn't really make exclusive head molds like this anymore. Anyways though, here we have the U-Wing pilot, and he looks great. This is one of my favorite figures in this set, mainly just because of the dark blue. I think it looks great, especially with his white helmet, and then he too is gonna have a double-sided face. Here we have Cassian Andor, and this figure also looks great with nice dark blue printing on the front and the back. But my favorite part about this figure is definitely the color of the legs. I'm not even exactly sure what color it is. It might be dark orange. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but whatever it is, it goes really nicely with the blue. And then he too is also going to have a double-sided face. Lastly here we had the Rebel Trooper. This is a very basic figure compared to the others, and there's not a whole lot going on. No double-sided face or anything like that. However, he does have a really cool helmet mold, and also it's just nice to get unnamed Rebel Troopers like this. LEGO rarely makes them. Now overall, the figures included in the set are great. I have no complaints with the figures themselves. However, I do have a complaint with the actual lineup, and that's because it's missing K2SO. He came in Krennic's Imperial Shuttle, which was the largest set of the wave at $90. However, in my opinion, it would have made a lot more sense for him to be included in this U-Wing. I mean, in Rogue One, Cassian and K2SO are literally the ones that own the ship, and they're kind of their own little duo. So because of that, I think it would have made a lot more sense for Jyn Erso to be in Krennic's Imperial Shuttle and K2SO to be in this set, but they didn't do that, and to this day, I still think it's kind of just a flaw with this lineup. But now taking a look at the actual build itself, this thing is gorgeous as expected. That blue and white color scheme really pops and looks great, and we usually just don't get colorful LEGO Star Wars sets like this. Usually they're just big and gray like the ones you see in the background, but no, this one is actually white and blue and colorful. The wings themselves don't have a whole lot of detail. They're really just white with the blue and yellow piece here and there, and then you're going to find a sticker at the back on each side. You're also going to see this gray panel on the right side, when on the left side in the same area it's a white panel, which is supposed to make this ship seem like it's old and has some wear and tear. In the front middle section here, you're going to see some nice shaping with the curved blue pieces, as well as some cannons and some spring-loaded shooters. And these spring-loaded shooters have an awesome functionality. There's literally these brick-built buttons on the top of the ship that you just press down and they fire, which I think is awesome. It's very fun and satisfying, and I also just love when spring-loaded shooters have some type of mechanism like this to fire them. The cockpit windshield piece is completely printed and looks about about as good as it needs to. And as you can see, there's also a lot of curvature shaping that's kind of built up around the cockpit, which gives it a very sleek look. However, because of those pieces, it is kind of hard to actually manually open the cockpit itself because you can't really grab it that easily. So what they did is actually include a function that opens the cockpit itself. There's just these buttons on the back that you push forward and the cockpit will kind of pop open just so you can get your finger under there and lift it up. And then when you put it back down, the buttons will kind of move back into place, which I think is great. And to be honest, I actually can't even think of another set that has an actual function to open the cockpit. Usually you just have to grab them and manually open them yourself. But on this set, there's an actual function. And again, I can't really think of another set that actually has something like this. Now, as for the interior goes inside the cockpit, there's not a whole lot to see. There's just a little brown seat as well as a printed control panel. And then, you know, as you'd expect, you can grab your U-Wing pilot and sit him inside the cockpit and close the windshield back down. Now, this back area that I just showed where the buttons are to open the cockpit, if you couldn't tell already, is also made out to look like the ship's engine, which looks great. There's quite a bit of detail on it, and then the actual engine thrusters themselves look absolutely awesome. However, they were very tedious to build because they each have two stickers on them, one on the top and one on the bottom, and after a while it just got pretty repetitive to do this over and over. But like I said, it looks great. I love the formation of them on here. It's very aesthetically pleasing. And then the last thing to see on the back here is this little hatch that can fold down. I'm not even sure if this is intended to be used for anything because when you open it up, there's nothing in there, no access to the inside or the interior or anything. But hey, it's back here and it can move if you want to do that. On the sides of the hull or the cargo area, there are even more stickers, 2 on each side. And you know, they add some detail. If you put them on right, you have to make sure they line up correctly. And then from there, there's this little handle sticking out that you can grab and use to slide the door open. And I'm not gonna lie, this is very satisfying and fun to do. And then as you can see, there's a very small interior in there with these 2 stud shooters on these hinges that you can sort of rotate towards the outside of the hull. And then from there, you can grab some of your minifigures and sit them in here. However, this is very hard to do. This is one of the most crammed interior spaces I think I've ever seen on a LEGO Star Wars set. I had a pretty hard time getting these figures in here, but once you do get them in there, it looks pretty good, I guess. I mean, obviously it's cool to be able to put them on the inside. It's just kind of annoying to do. And then the last thing to see on the bottom of the ship is this massive transparent piece that I'm pretty sure might be the same cockpit canopy from the 2013 UCS X-Wing, but either way, it looks cool down here. However, it's got 2 more stickers on it. And you know, I'm not a big sticker hater. They add detail where it's needed, but at this point in the build process, I was like, all right, these are getting kind of overkill. I mean, it looks good, don't get me wrong, but I wish this or some of the other pieces could have been printed. And then the last thing to show off is the wings opening. This is the main play feature with this set. It's really fun and easy to do, and when the wings are closed, they're held in by these ball joints, and then when you open them, there's ball joints at the back that hold them open. And when you had them opened in its flying position, this thing is actually kind of crazy looking, and it's also just massive. This wingspan takes up so much room. For people that like to display their sets, there's really not an easy way to display this on shelves. You'll just have to sit it on a table or something because it's so big with its wings open. But like I said, it looks crazy, but like in a good way because it's awesome. It's without a doubt one of the most unique looking starfighters that LEGO's ever made. And then you can just close the wings back up, and like I said, they have ball joints that hold them into place. Now overall, back in 2016, this set was pretty much a banger, and most people consider it to be one of the best out of the initial Rogue One wave, and it still holds up today in 2025. I mean, it's only 9 years old. It definitely doesn't have that super detailed and compact design like most new sets have nowadays, but it's still very modern and it still easily holds up. However, like I mentioned, I really wish this thing included K2SO. To this day, I don't think it makes sense to have him in Krennic's Imperial Shuttle and Jyn Erso in this set. I think they should have been switched, and also the number of stickers is just a little bit overkill, so because of that, I'm going to take 1 point off and give this thing a solid 9 out of 10. And I know most of you guys are wondering if I would recommend this set to you guys today, and if you can find it used for around $120, I actually think that's a very solid deal, because if you've seen the pictures of the new one, I mean, obviously nobody has it in hand yet, but based off the leaked picture, I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's going to be an inferior remake, which means this one's always going to be the better model. However, it's retired, so its price is going up, $250 for it sealed, $100 for it used. I don't think those are terrible prices, and it's a great set. I don't think anyone wouldn't enjoy this. However, it really just comes down to how much you're willing to spend. Anyways though, let me know what you guys think about this set down in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see on the screen right now.